Okay, you guys, here we are. Pod 01, the Landrys. It's me and Laura, Jack and Laura.
Yep.
And we're here today to talk about provision. We're here to talk about why we think a man providing 100% financially for his family. We want to talk about why we think that's so valuable and impactful.
Yeah.
And what that looks like and how it helps the family if that's actually something a man and a woman can make happen in their marriage. So that's what we're going to talk about. Dear God, thank you for bringing us here. We just pray that you give us wisdom that's not from us but from you, and something that can speak to men and women who are navigating current marriages or preparing for marriage or dating, whatever it may be. Just pray that there's something that they can take from this that can help them and inspire them to build a marriage that's based on you and based on who you call us to be as a man and a woman in that relationship. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. So I think we thought we could jump right into it because we actually see this idea criticized a lot.
Yeah.
That how can the man provide 100%? That takes away the woman's independence, or it makes her superior, and all these different ideas that we see in culture about why 100% provision is such a bad thing. So I think we wanted to talk about why we see this being criticized and frowned upon a lot of the time, and we also want to expose some of those lines of criticism and disapproval and tell you guys why we actually believe some of those reasons for disapproval are actually lies.
Yeah. I think we're just here to bring a different perspective to what that looks like, and to talk about what's going on in culture and how to bring a new light to a man being 100% the provider, because it is a hot topic right now and there's a lot of heat around the conversation. So I think us just sharing what we believe we're being called to in our family and what works for us and why we feel called to live this way could be helpful to hear with all the noise around a man being 100% the provider. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. So why do you think people disapprove of that idea, or it gets frowned upon so often?
I think I know it's the movement of feminism. It's the feminism movement, and it's just made women feel inferior and makes them feel less than, and makes them feel like they don't have a purpose if they 100% rely on a man. They feel like their independence is being taken from them, freedom is being taken from them, they're not important or valuable unless they're working a job, which is really so silly. Even if you just say that out loud, I think that sounds so silly, but I think that's what's going on, and that's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah. And I think for me, what I see, reasons why I see it being criticized is that's like the man taking away the woman's independence, and it's making him superior to her, like he's the ruler and she just has to take care of the home and make the food and be his servant.
Yeah.
And kind of like Laura said, at least culture tries to make it seem like a woman is worthless if she doesn't have a job. Right,
like her only worth is in the home, or if she's essentially a servant to her husband, which is not the case. That's not what's going on. So it would be good for us to talk about that.
Yeah. So I think we'll actually end up kind of disapproving some of those lies or exposing some of those lies as we get into the conversation. So I think we can just start with, when a man provides 100% for his family, what does that do? And why is a man called to provision, to provide for his family biblically? What is the calling for a man? What is the responsibility for a man to provide? And I guess I'm the man, so I can start. I think talking about from a biblical perspective, it brings me to a verse that is from 1 Timothy. It's chapter 5, verse 8, and it says, "If anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for members of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever."
Yeah.
And I think this is a pretty powerful verse.
Yeah.
And sure, it doesn't say if the man does not provide. It says if anyone does not provide. But what it says, if you don't provide, especially for the members of your house, you're worse than an unbeliever, which is pretty extreme, because an unbeliever, somebody who doesn't believe in Christ, is not going to end up making it to heaven, is not given the gift of salvation. So it's almost saying, and it's almost contradictory, like you can still believe in Christ but not provide.
Yeah, I think it just doesn't even really.
It's almost
Yeah.
such an exaggerated extreme, because it's like, okay, how could it's basically like, how could anything be worse than not believing in Christ and accepting him as Lord and Savior? How could it possibly get any worse than that? And so I think what this is drawing importance to is the importance of providing. There's such a massive responsibility and duty here for it.
Yeah.
And then it says, especially for the members of your household. So when you're a husband, first it's just your wife, that's your house. And then when we have kids, it will be our kids. And once again, it doesn't say 100% here. So there's nothing about like you have to provide 100%. And we don't actually believe that, that's a requirement either, or that like if you don't provide 100%, you're a bad man, or your family's dynamic is wrong.
Definitely not.
It's a very difficult thing to do, especially in today's culture, which is to provide 100%. But I think a lot of men they've lost, or they don't understand, a lot of men don't understand how valuable it would be for them to provide 100% for their entire family. Because if I provide 100% for my family, that's allowing my wife to be and do what God called her to do, which is to be the best mother and helper for me possible. And I don't care whether you work a blue-collar job, a corporate job, you run your own business, you have the ability to do it. God has put it within you. God has given us the capacity to build and to work. And so if you take that responsibility on yourself, you're doing so much more than just saying, I'm going to work and put in so much effort and time. It's you taking responsibility and ownership for creating the best life possible for you and your family. And because if I can now get Laura out of an office and into the home, what's the best thing that could possibly happen for children in the home? It would be to have their mother present all of the time. And her being able to focus solely on the kids and on our home gives her the ability to show up as the best mother and wife possible. If she's divided between two things, it's just logically impossible. I can't be the best at one thing if I'm doing two things. And so you providing 100% as a man is so empowering for the entire family, because the impact that it's going to have on your children, to have your wife there taking care of them, nurturing them, raising them, is massive. And then also what it does is it creates more opportunity for you to be a better husband, because you're not split either. You're not trying to play the provider and make money and the home taker. You don't have to come home. And of course, we also believe in the man should help with things. Like Laura just doesn't do everything in the home and I chill.
No.
So I can still help with things. I can do laundry, make food, do dishes once in a rare while.
You're really good at that. You help me a lot. You really do. You help me when I need it.
Yeah, right. It's doesn't mean I'm not doing those things, but if I come home from work at the end of the day and Laura's taking care of the kids and the house is in a nice place and I can actually just sit down and be present with my family and children and with my wife, rather than running around the house trying to do all these other little small things that need to be done, right? She's now empowered me to be a better husband and father when I am with the family and when I'm not working. And I've given her the ability to empower me by empowering her to be a wife and a caretaker and a helper and a homemaker. Yeah. So me providing 100% financially gives her the opportunity to be the best mother and caretaker, and then she is now able to empower me back by helping me just be more present and in our relationship too, right? I don't have to, I can turn my brain off when I come home from work or something like that and just be with her and the kids. So that's really at a high level, like why we believe that providing 100% as the man can be so impactful. And that's because we do believe that the mother is called to be the leader in the in the house.
Well, and that's an important, I don't mean to cut you off, but that's an important point to make, because you see my role as so valuable that you're willing to make a sacrifice to work as hard as you need to work to provide 100% for our family, because you see my role as valuable. And I think that's a lot of what culture doesn't understand, is that you as the husband see me as the wife and the mom of our kids in the future as so important that you're willing to live out a sacrificial love, which is the call of the husband, is to love sacrificially. And it is such a sacrifice to provide 100% and to take that onto your shoulders because you believe in me to have such an important role in our family and our legacy, to trust me to build that with you. And it's not like I'm under you or beneath you. So I think that's an important point to make, that you believe in me just as much as I believe in you. It's just that the responsibilities that we carry, they're both a heavy weight. But because you're called to love sacrificially as the husband, and you see something in me, then that makes it easier for you to provide. 100%.
Yeah, and once again, that comes to the biblical call for a man and how he's supposed to serve in a marriage. And it says in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25, it says, "Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." Yeah. So Christ loving the church is us, is the collective body of believers. How did Christ love the church? He gave himself up, he sacrificed, he served us by literally going before us and for us on the cross, dying for us. That's the ultimate level of sacrifice and service.
Yeah.
And so if I'm bringing that into my marriage, it's because what's the best situation my family could possibly have? And by far, in my mind, in our belief, and I just don't really think it can be argued, it's like the mom is 100% a mom. And this is why you see so many broken families, because one parent's out of the picture, the mom's not there, the dad's not there, the kids are in daycare. Once again, there's nothing wrong with daycare and both parents having to work, but even when we look at like simple tribal cultures and how cultures used to be when life was simpler, it's like the mothers were at the home taking care of the family, making the food, and the guys were the ones out, hunting during the day, and they came back and the family was there. And it's like there were strong families, and now today we have so much divorce and division in families, and she's mad because he's not working enough, or he's mad because she's not working enough, or whatever. So it's not just because I want to be like, I'm the macho man and I make all the money.
No way.
It's because I want the best thing for my kids.
That's another thing too, is it isn't a macho man, I have all the money, and it's a sense of control. It's like we could not do what we're called to do without the sacrifice of the sacrifice of each other. We couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So it's not this sense of control. Like I'm not losing anything. If anything, I'm gaining more freedom, and so is Jack, because it brings order into our home, and there's no chaos, and there's no who's doing what. Yeah, it brings order to our home, and it brings a peace, and there's no like, you're not doing enough of this and you're not doing enough of this, and it becomes this battle that people turn against each other in those things. So that's another reason why we believe in it, because of the order of the home.
Yeah, and we think there's an order in the home like there is in other organizational units. Like you can think of a sports team or even a business. It's like the CEO and the CMO, the marketing officer and the executive officer, they're not arguing with the other one because the CEO is not doing marketing stuff and the marketing guy's not doing executive stuff, right?
Yeah.
They're doing the thing that they're best at doing.
Right.
And it's the same, nobody is, that doesn't mean one's inferior and one's superior. And even when you look at like sports teams, I love the example of a football team, because it's like the leader of the offense, the quarterback, is taking on certain responsibilities, but that doesn't make the other people unworthy. He just has certain responsibilities because he's best equipped to do them. And why is he doing them? He's doing them for the good of the entire team.
Yep. Yeah, and some notes that I even have is like, we have different roles, but we hold the same value. Different roles, same value, and we're both contributing just in different ways, like the way that we're designed to serve best. That's the way that we're showing up, and it does feel like a team, and we have direction on the way we need to show up, instead of both of us just doing everything and then that becoming chaotic. So that's important too.
Yeah. And most of you guys, if you went and you asked your girlfriend or your wife, would you rather work or stay at the house and take care of the kids, I guarantee you 95% of them are going to say, I'd rather be a full-time stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Because that's innately within her. So if you can empower her and give her that ability, not only is that going to create a better life for her, help her do what she's meant to do, but it's also going to create so much more value for your family and building a strong unit in the house. So yeah, it's a heavy call and a heavy responsibility, but like I said earlier, I don't care what line of work you're in, you can make it happen. And it's going to take time, and it's going to take sacrifice, and probably will be one of the hardest things you've ever done, if not the hardest thing you've ever done. Yeah. But you can make it happen. And it's like, are you willing to put in that work and go through the sacrifice of that?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like we even covered a lot. Maybe it doesn't even have to be that long of a one, but it's like, why, that's kind of why we think the man providing for the family, why that has value, why it's a biblical call, why it's something that we should be doing as a man who's living in alignment with how God calls a man to be as a husband and a father. We talked about, how that is going to help
Our
Laura
family,
and the wife be the best mother possible, what that does for the husband in turn, how it helps him be a better husband and father. Is there anything else you want to add, or we can even just go into like where we are right now in our marriage and how we're navigating that and what we're moving towards, what we're aspiring for? Or is there other things you want to talk about first?
No, I think it's just important to know too, like if this is your goal in your marriage, just to not feel bad if you're in a place where you can't be there yet, because there is different seasons and there's different parts of the journey to get there. Like, we're not there yet. We're almost there, which is such a blessing from God, and we're so excited for that. But we've walked through different seasons where I am helping more financially. But also the beautiful part of that is that it's also given us so much clarity that doesn't actually work for our family, which is important. And it's good to pay attention to those seasons when you're in a season where you're not in full alignment with where you want to be or where God's calling you to be yet. Take the lessons and the wisdom and the feelings and the things you're going through in that season and use that to build the future that you and your husband or you and your wife want. Yeah. Like we've been in a season where I'm working part-time, and it was helpful for a season, but then it starts to feel more disruptive. Yeah. And it starts to feel like less of a help and more of a burden, because we want to prioritize serving in the church more, showing up for what God is calling us to individually and as a couple, and having more time just in the home together.
Yeah, and maybe we can even talk about it from the beginning. Yeah. Of like how it's looked like between Laura and I from the beginning of our relationship, which was in 2025. We literally met like on December 31st in 2024 technically. Yeah. And so Laura was living in Philadelphia, where we are now, where we live, and I was living in Miami. And so we got into dating pretty quick, and it was like we met for the first time in the beginning of 2025, and then in March we were engaged, and then at the end of May we were married. So it was like we met, 2.5 months later we were engaged, 5 months later we were married, And really the only knowing of each other we had before that was I was in Thailand at the end of 2024. She was here. We got connected through Instagram unexpectedly. So we talked over FaceTime for like a month and a half before I came back to the States. And then we met in the beginning of 2025. And so anyways, I was down in Miami. She was here. And we wanted to, we honestly knew pretty much like that we were going to get married before we even met each other in person, which that's a whole nother episode, but we pretty much knew. And then when we got together in the beginning of 2025, it was like we knew for sure. And January she came down to spend time with me in Miami, and we were like literally already talking about the wedding and like when we felt like we should get married in January, I remember. And so long story short, Laura had been working, but with the back and forth between like Philadelphia and Miami and us wanting to have as much quality time with each other leading into what we knew was going to be a pretty quick marriage. That was a priority, the time that we spent together. And so during that time, you know, Laura wasn't working, and the reason she didn't work is because that would have taken away from the time that we were able to spend, her being in Miami and when I was here, you know, the time we got to spend when I was here. And it would have also restricted what we were able to do with our future. So like we traveled for a couple months abroad after we got married, and she was thinking of taking like a corporate job in real estate, and we talked about it.
I remember that. I had this opportunity to go into real estate and sales, and I was kind of excited about it because I was done with what I was doing and I was excited for something new. And I went to Jack and he was like, nah, like it's just not, it doesn't fit the grander, bigger purpose of our life and what God has for us. And when he said that, I was realizing, you're so right. Like there's so much more to this than just bringing in a flow of cash. Like there's so much more. Our time, our pursuit of God, everything. So that was cool. It
was basically like we had the choice to decide, are we going to prioritize our relationship? Because I could carry us financially at that time. So are we going to prioritize our relationship, or are we going to prioritize making money? And at that time, I mean, it should always be, but at that time we were going to prioritize our relationship. And so we got married, we traveled for a couple months like throughout the summer, and you know, I was working. Things were slow for me with business, but I was still the only one working, and we were fine. And you know, God provided, and things worked. And we did work through and we're still working through like financial adversity, but that was, you know, even with just me working, we were able to navigate, you know, financial challenges and not having as much as we expected to have and stuff like that. And that helped us grow closer as a couple, and you know, helped us have hard conversations and uncomfortable conversations. And like I mean, I remember for a long time, like Laura, even when we got back from our travels, we settled down here in Philadelphia full time, and that was in like the fall of 2025. And during that time, Laura like wasn't working either, because we didn't feel like it was still the right thing. And we were talking about like her going back to work, because we were starting to get into a place where it would be helpful for her to be bringing in money. But we wanted it to be the right thing. But I even remember like you being like, her always being like stressed out and like feeling not enough because she wasn't bringing in money. And so that was something that we had to work through, because she was basically saying my worth in the relationship, at least part of it, is tied to my ability to make money or not. And I was like, at that time, I was like, trust me, we could, some extra money would help us out, but like,
that's not, that's so true.
That's also not
my response. You always said that's not your responsibility, like to carry that. I kept carrying the weight of the responsibility of almost of trying to like take Jack's role from him, which is so silly, but I just wanted to feel like I was actually contributing. And when I realized it's okay to be a helper, then I was okay with it.
Yeah. And then it came to a place where even it was humbling for me, where I had to be like, all right, Laura, I think now could be a helpful time for you to go back to work.
Yeah.
And that's not something I wanted to even have to ask or say.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
there was an aspect of that was helping me, actually go to her as my helper. And eventually she found the right thing that's been helpful for us, the past, I don't know, 6 months or 4 months.
Yeah. It's been helpful. It has been really helpful. And it's helped us learn so much just about what is important, how we want things to go for our future. It's been such a fruitful season for us. We've had so many learning lessons, and there's been so much fruit in the season, even spiritually. So it was good for what it was, but now we're coming out of that season.
Why don't you tell them a little bit about like everything we realized we wanted and we grew in during this season of like both of us working. So basically what, this is our situation. Like I work full time from the house, and then Laura has been working like 3 nights a week.
Yeah. I'm working 3 nights a week as a waitress, so his days are ending around the time that my work day is starting. And what I've been learning and feeling is like I just wanted to be in the home, and I just want to be home. And I started to see, I think God worked out of me that my value is only if I bring money in, and I started to actually grow a confidence and an understanding in why me being home for the both of us, why that's so valuable. And I never truly understood that. I always said I believed it even before we got married. I always believed in traditional roles, so to speak, but I've never actually felt it in my heart. And I think that that's been super healing for me, for God to do that in this season. It's like I actually understand the value of me being home and what that does for our family, and what Jack being the sole provider, what that looks and feels like, and why that's so valuable. So I have a deeper understanding of that, and that's been so beautiful and so fruitful for me, because it was healing to me and my heart based on my past experiences. So that's been something I'm learning.
And we've been sharing one car this entire time. So
that too,
it's
that's
like
crazy.
She leaves at 4:00 on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and it's really not a big thing, but it has challenged us to like have to work together, and just for me, patience on my side of things and flexibility. I think it's really hard if you're for like the ambitious men out there who like want to build something great. I understand the difficulty of that, because typically on that path at some point we get into this lane where it's like just us and our priorities and our goals, which is, it's challenging to like reverse out of that if you've lived like that as a single man before. But I lived like that for 5 years, and like what I'm trying to build is something big, like where I can help hundreds of guys a year, thousands of guys a year, have retreats in person, maybe have in-person locations, like 7-figure plus business. And not that the goal is money, but the monetary size of it brings details to the size of the impact that I'm trying to build. And so I can't just like chill and just go with the flow and do a little bit here and a little bit there. So we've had to work through that, and even like I want to get to the gym and stuff like that, small things, but it's been like disruptive. I would just say it's been disruptive because it's like, all right, Monday, Thursday, Friday, I got to go to the gym before, I have to be home by 4:00.
Yeah.
And realistically, the way I work best is I'm so grateful I have the freedom to just go to the gym whenever, but like the best thing for me to do, and I feel like something God has been doing as a side note, kind of just in the season, is like He's expanding my capacity and my ability to carry weight and manage more, so that I can do that and get to the next level in this season.
Yeah.
And the best I can possibly do is work, gym, and then be home and checked out. But it's like if I'm work and then gym and then trying to work and then trying to sit down with Laura at the end of the day for dinner, it's just it's broken, and it's like
broken, yeah.
Things bleed over, and it's like I don't want to be somebody who's like working past 7 p.m. at all.
And then we're having dinner at 8:30 and we're tired and yeah.
Or like there's things on my mind, or like I have to go sit down to work to after dinner. That's just, I don't want to live that way, because like I'm trying to get to that place now, because I know when we have kids, that'll be the family quality time. And I also think it's a lie that you especially for like if you're an entrepreneur, or like you have a high responsibility position, that you have to be working all the time, all hours of the day. That's just not true. I have confidence. What I'm trying to build can be done and can be built, and I can be done at 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm trying to learn how to do that well, but it's been difficult with our schedule. And I mean, God has just taught me more grace and patience, and better management skills and better focus and all this stuff. But I think we're grateful, because it feels like God's bringing us to a point where Laura will be able to step out of work soon.
Yeah, it's so amazing.
And I think we are seeing how that's going to help.
For sure.
Us.
We've learned in this season, through all the disruption and all of those feelings and all of the things that He's worked out of us, and the way that He's worked through us, we've learned a lot about, again, going back to what I was saying, the value of things, of us being fully in those roles that God has called us to. And I think another way to know, how do you know if God is calling you to something like that, or even calling you into a new season? Like if you're both working, but it's on your heart for the wife to be in the home and for you to be the sole provider, one of the biggest things we've noticed is if it's in alignment with God, it's not going to take away from more of your relationship with God. And that's what started happening to us within the last couple of months. Is I was working Saturday nights, and we're supposed to be at church super early on Sunday, so that was really challenging. And then Wednesday nights are prayer nights, and we couldn't be there for that anymore. So it just started feeling like we couldn't serve God to the capacity that we wanted to, because I was putting more time and energy into this job. So we're getting to a place where we feel like that's just not the call that God has for us anymore, and we're coming out of that season. But it's not going to take away from it shouldn't take away from your marriage and your time with God and all of the things that are super important, just for your purpose and for your future. I wouldn't prioritize money over those things. So
that one's easier said than done, because like
it is,
you gotta make money, but
you do.
God will also, like, if you really, really seek Him and like move into a position of surrender, He will provide and make a way. Which once again, that sounds like so like feel good.
Yeah.
And I think if you're watching this and you don't have a relationship with Jesus, that probably just sounds like kind of stupid, which is totally okay. And it's, nothing we can say will convince you of like, oh yeah, if I just stop working to make more time for God in my relationship, like He's gonna take care of us.
No.
And so I think, that will come from you seeking Him and building a relationship with Him. And you'll start to understand the ways of God more. So if you don't understand that, I would just encourage you to like actually build a real relationship with God, because nothing we can tell you will convince you of what God can actually do unless you enter into a real intimate relationship with Him.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that. And the only other thing about it is, it took a lot away from our relationship. So like our quality time, it's been getting better, because Laura's not working Saturday nights anymore, but like there would be weeks where like
Yeah,
And I'd be like, what the heck, dude? Like, I literally don't have to answer to anyone, and I'm home all the time. Lord, she doesn't have these massive responsibilities outside of the house. It's like, it feels like only 3 days a week, but then somehow we're going a whole week with like not even sitting down to have one dinner together.
Yeah.
And so it's been like that for a long time, and then Saturday we're so friggin' tired, so we literally sleep till like 1 p.m. and then Sunday, and then she has to go to work. She has to go to work at 4, and then Sunday we have to be up stupid early, and we're exhausted again, and we just come home and sleep, and it's like no quality time. So we're excited for what's coming.
Yeah, we are. It's been it's been a journey, but we're going into a new season, and it's exciting, and you'll know what's right for you. There's no one way to do marriage, to do life, to do finances, but we just wanted to share what we feel is the best for us and really share why. And if that resonates with you, or if that can be any help, then we're so grateful. But just know that there's no right way to do anything. There's no one way to do anything. We're just here to share our hearts and be there to give wisdom, to share wisdom.
Yeah, do you want to share really quick, like, your vision for our ideal state? Like, what is our dream for our family and where we want to be together? Or have we kind of already said that?
Well,
like, what do we want? Maybe we can put some things on paper so that when it actually comes true, we can come back to this clip.
Ideally, we obviously want Jack to be 100% the provider, and me to be 100% in the home. And we're praying for God to bless us with lots of little babies. So we want to have as big of a family as we can. And I want to be home with the kids, and Jack's gonna provide so that that's possible for us. But also, I think we're a multi-passionate family, so we want to do things like together as well. But we see us maybe moving to somewhere that has a beach, and we want to be in nature and just live a simple but beautiful life. And the roles that we take on and the responsibilities and the sacrifices of our love for each other are gonna enable that to happen. So
yeah, I think we're super excited.
Yeah, we're really excited for the future.
I think I want to see us, we talk about Miami being the place, so I like to put names and like labels and details into things because I think it's cool to see it actually come into fruition. It's not like we want to live by the beach and have a lot of kids and have a nice home. It's like we want to live in Miami and live in a couple $1 million home, and my business is making 7 figures, multi-7 figures, and we have 4 kids running around and something like that. And I think that's totally possible. And I mean, I know it'll happen, and I'm excited for that. The place and the location and in numbers and stuff, who knows what God wants to do, but I do like just putting those things out because it just like quantifies the size of the dream.
Yeah.
And I mean, I talk so much about vision, and I think it is important when we do talk about provision, because it's like, you as the man, you have to have a vision for the life you want to give. And I know the exact life I want to give my family. I want us to have an incredible home. Homes are stupid expensive these days, but by far we want to live by the water. It's probably somewhere in Florida. So what does that mean? It's going to have to be a bare minimum, like $1 million on a home.
Oh yeah,
so,
and a dock in the back of our house where we can park the boat.
Yeah, I've always wanted a boat. So like if we can have the boat there,
sure.
that's sick. But it's like, yeah, okay, we got a bare 1 million minimum on the house. But I was even looking today.
Minimum, that's like 1 million on a house. Like that's. Yeah,
I think our range is like closer to like 2 to 4 million for like a nice four kid home. 2 to 4 million on a home, and then it's like, okay, bet you want to have a $2 to $4 million home. Well, what does your business have to be doing? You have to be doing at least $1 million, $100K a month, something like that. So that's what I'm working towards, and we have lots of work to do, but also the foundation that's being built is so strong, and the change is gonna come quick. We could be here, it could be the end of the year, and like my business could be on pace for $1 million a year. That could happen. And, you know, we could be heading into 2027 and ready to move down to Miami, and within a couple years, you know, buy a home or whatever. So I share all this because I know exactly, she knows exactly what she wants. We've talked about what we want. And so now that we know the vision, I know what has to happen to get us there. And that doesn't mean you have to have the same vision as us.
No.
But what the vision does is it enables me to know what I need to do. And when I was working in corporate for Amazon, or when I was running my own contracting, doing data engineering and making $100,000, $250,000 a year, still I knew that was, number one, it didn't fill me. I had no purpose there. But
Right.
number two, I still knew it wasn't conducive to the vision, the greater vision I had for my family. And I've had a similar vision for my family, you know, long before I met Laura. And so that was why I moved into running my own thing and doing my own thing, because it was a path towards the actual vision. And so you guys have to know like what it is you actually want, because otherwise you're just going to be going in circles, check to check, promotion to promotion, job to job, and it's like, what's the purpose? You have to have purpose behind the work you're doing now. You may not be in the position you want to be right now, but you have to be able to see, how can I leverage this? What am I learning? What are the skills I'm learning? What responsibilities am I building the ability to carry now? And how am I setting this up for the next step in my future to move towards that higher level vision? So I just would encourage you guys to have that vision, and I like to share the vision because when it happens, this is really why I like to share it, because when it happens, it's not going to be like, oh my gosh, they got lucky, they blew up on social media, something stupid. It's like, dude, we've been heading towards this for years, and that's why I list the details, because it's not just going to happen by chance. And when we get there, we'll be able to share. There's a reason why we got there, and most importantly, it's because of everything that, you know, our relationship with God and everything we've brought to Him and allowed Him to lead. Like my business is literally helping men become better men of God. But it's going to be through Him, but it's also going to be through a lot of intention and vision. And we take those intentions and visions and we align them with Him, and we let Him reform them. Right?
Yeah.
My vision was just basically a fitness and nutrition business, fitness, nutrition mindset. That still could have got me to set, you know, $1 million, a couple million a year. But then as we pursued God, He refined that. And now it is what it is today, which is similar, but different. And so we didn't want to be here in Philadelphia originally. This was not our plan to be here in Philadelphia. But God, you know, God brought us back here. It's been a blessing.
Yeah.
And it's had so much good, and it will continue to have good, and we understand its purpose in the greater picture, and that also gives us the ability to be content and happy and joyful right here, which we haven't always been, but we've gotten to a pretty good place, I would say. So
yeah. And it's also okay to dream really big with God. Like, it's okay to want a house that's worth a couple $1 million. It's okay to want nice things and want a nice life for your family. And I think it's okay to be building toward that vision together as a couple. It's okay to want those things and to admit those desires. God already knows the desires of your heart. So you might as well be honest about them and work toward them. And God's always going to be directing your path and redirecting your path. And He's going to always have you where He needs you to be for His purpose to prosper. So I think dreaming big with God and you doing that as a couple is so powerful and so exciting and so amazing. And I think a part of what we're doing and why we're even sharing that is because we see the roles of Him being the sole provider, how that working toward that is building the bigger dream of our future and our family. So that's important to know, the big vision and how to work backwards.
Laura's going to be at the beach every day with our kids, and I'm going to be working.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be going to like take the kids to get like iced matchas and with like coconut water and going to the beach with them, and Jack's gonna be like at home in the office, which I think it's so funny, like just how culture sees mom staying home as something that's like, oh, you poor woman, poor woman, like I'm hanging out with
it is a massive job. Like, that's a full-time job. It's
of course you have.
She doesn't get to check out. Like, I can
no,
check out at 7 p.m. or whatever, but she can like.
No, and
she doesn't really get to check out.
No, and you can go like go run to the gym really quick and just have like a second with yourself. Being a mama is a job. That's you're full time around the clock, and you're not the first priority anymore. I can't just run out the door and go sit at the coffee shop the way that I love to for hours. Like that's done. But when your husband understands that, I think that's the beautiful part, is like, you understand the sacrifice that I'm also making for you and for our children and our future family. So just the sacrificial love it's a beautiful thing. Like, I understand what you're doing and you understand what I'm doing, so it becomes this beautiful dynamic. Like, we're a team and we're a strong team. So it's just this beautiful picture of marriage and what's possible when you're both like in it for the dream and for the vision. It's so much fun and it's cool, and we're excited. We're so excited.
Yep.
It's cool.
We're excited. That sounds like a great place to end it.
Yep.
Boys, if you need help, you actually feel like you want to do these things, you want to prepare, be a good man, be a good leader, husband and father in the future, right? That preparation starts right now. And we talk about this idea of provision. It's very difficult to be a full-time provider 100% if you're not leading yourself well in the other areas. So the way you start every single day, starting your day with God, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, controlling your emotions, understanding yourself. If I didn't work out, I wasn't in the gym and I wasn't eating healthy, I would not be doing and moving towards what I'm moving towards. It's impossible. And so if you want to be a provider full-time, 100%, you need to realize you need to lead yourself the best you possibly can in every single area. It's everything coming into alignment. So if you feel like you so here's the freaking pitch, boys. No, but if you feel like you have that vision and you just haven't found the structure and the systems and the accountability to get you there, what you can do, I'll have a link in the description. You can book in a free call with me. We'll get crystal clear on what that vision actually is, where you are now, what's holding you back, and we can figure out a way to actually get you there, see if it's a good fit. And if it's a good fit, we'll rip.
Well, I'll say it's worth it. It's worth it because the way that this man was showing up in his singleness, and I saw things in him and the qualities and what he believed in and what he wanted for his family, that's what attracted me to him, was all of those things. I'm just saying, the girls know, and that they pay attention to this stuff. So it is super important. This isn't just him, whatever. It's not just a pitch. It's real, and it's true, and it's important work, and it's good work. You're laying the foundation for your family before they're even there, and for your wife before she's even there. And because of the work he did for years before he even met me, that's what made me attracted to him. It wasn't just because he's in the gym and he looks good. Like, if he was just Jack without all the qualities that he has, like, that's not promising to a woman. It's not just looks or even money. It's so much deeper than that, and Jack's amazing at that. So I'm just saying it's worth it because that's what reeled me in. So if you're looking for your wife, here's your guy. I'm just saying, from a woman.
You guys are here. See you guys on the next one.
Peace.